It's good to have your own water sources, especially with what's going on. Old duck pond, where Mama's ducks used to play. I've started lining it, so I've had this sand here for, 4 years, 5 years. But other things take priority, so this is where we're at. So I've used old concrete posts there. Reason being, I need to put a fence panel there because when I cut those hedges, they're very tall. I put my ladders there. I need to make sure I don't fall in and that the ladders don't slip in. For now, I'm using a bit of old fence. Well, a bit of old shed. It'll do for the time being. I put the sand in. It's still quite big. I can see some mouse holes. They won't be staying. I can tell you that for a fact. Where the sandbag was, that's atrocious. So I've got to sort that. Also need to sort that because I do not want the mice moving from there to there. I need to move these bricks as well for the same reason. They've got comfortable. I need to move them. So this is where I'm at the moment. The pond liner isn't here yet, so I'll be buying that down the line. I'm going to get some more sand. Whilst it looks like there's enough, I need to build up these edges a bit more. And then once I've done that, I use kids' play sand. So you use builder's sand for the majority of it, then kids' play sand so they don't spike it and rip it. And then you use felt, big rolls of felt to line it. And if you don't have those things, next best option, according to Mama, is bed covers. Works just as well. It's padding at the end of the day. If you've got old bed covers and old towels, it does the job. So oak that you've got if you need to make a water source. Eventually those irises over there in that tub will be going in here and they clean the water and filter it. Obviously you don't just drink straight out on it because it's sap water, it's still water, so you still need to process the water if you were going to drink it. Alright, you don't just drink straight out of it. It'll be clean to a degree. Favourite saying, to a degree. But yeah, once this is lined, then I'll use all my bricks to just go around the edge and make it solid so that I can walk there. I need a bridge. I will need a bridge because I need to be able to clean it out. And back in the day, there used to be there were a big tree going up here where that bush is. That used to be a tree. And eventually it fell. The ivy grew on it like this one and it collapsed. And it actually collapsed over the pond, which actually worked quite well because it meant that you could walk on it to clean it. But again, that rotted away. I'm left with this little thing. That's what's left at tree. So I'm going to grow him again. But he's not going to do the job now, is he? So I'm going to have to build a bridge or buy one. We'll see. We'll see what the budget looks like. And then I've got a water source. Obviously, I've got my water butts. Obviously, I've got another pond on the back. The main point is to make sure you've got water that you can process no matter what. So I've got my other pond down there. And it's an absolute state down here. This needs some real work. But I've already cleaned some of this out so you can see. So you wouldn't drink that straight. You'd still have to process it, but it's going to be cleaner than most waters. But it's still standing water, so you have to be careful. I can hear a seagull. Do you know we've got loads of seagulls and there's no sea? Dead strange. But yeah, that's where I'm at. My door's totally come off. We'll be addressing that today. I'll be ripping that door frame off. Yeah, it looks a bit of a state at the moment. Everything always looks worse, don't it, before it gets better. We've had a few casualties. There, a blackbird knocked over on road, so I've had to bring him on guard, and I'm not going to show you, obviously. Some more mice, pigeon. We've had a buzzard flying over. I was lucky enough to see it, and it was roosting in this tree here. And Bob in the Robin were losing his absolute shit. And I thought he only gives me that call if something bad's happening. So I came out and I seen it. Massive buzzard. He's come from over that way. He's come from fields over yonder. There's a pairing that lives in woods. But yeah, that's where I'm at. it looks a state at the moment. There are roots here sticking out. That's going to be a problem. Hello, sweet baby. But yeah, so far, not too bad. I've planted my hyacinths and my daffodils. Are you coming? Oh, very cute. Yeah, I'm going to crack on. Make do with what you've got. Make it work. I will have to cover this back over because I ain't got pond liner yet. I don't want no debris getting in it. I don't want cat using it as a toilet. I don't want squirrel burying stuff. So I'm going to cover it back over in a sec and just make sure that it stays as good as it can stay till I can get last little bit of sand and the felt and the liner, which will be in a couple of months' time. My method of madness is work on what you can when you can. So whilst you've got certain bits, work on it. And then when you run out of those bits and you can't go no further, okay, what's the next thing I can move on to that I can work on so that there is progress all the time. So it looks like there's lots of stuff unfinished, and that's because it is, but they are all approaching their own finish line at their own time. Does that make sense? And they all get done. So this project has been dredging this in the first place. Oh my God, the smell from rotting vegetation in here were horrible. Oh my God. I used to watch my mama do it when I were a kid, and honestly, it never registered how bad it actually was till I did it myself. But this is where we're at for the time being. You need water sources, multiple water sources, because you never know what's going to happen, and you need to have your own food. It's dead important. Am I saying that I've got enough water to support myself and enough food to support myself? Nope. But I've got more than if I had none. So some is better than none, in my view. You also need to learn how to forage and hunt and all those things. People for years have been judging my mum, me, for prepping so hard and stockpiling and planning. We've been doing it for years. We've been doing it long before Mama had passed away 10 years ago. And that's because we know what's happening. Mama wrote in her Bible that the world was going to end in 2025, and we are at that point where it looks like we're going to war, and people will probably still have hope, and there's nothing wrong with that, and say no, we're not, no, we won't. I hope you're right. I hope we don't. I hope I've prepped for no reason. I hope I'm prepping for no reason whatsoever. But I'd still prefer to prep than not. So while I'm off for things I am not allowed to talk about, I'm going to utilise my time and keep working on stuff. So yeah, this is where we're at. Don't look like much. Everything has to start somewhere, don't it?